everybody. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Julie Davenport. I am lucky enough to serve as board president of this beautiful affiliate, so I'm happy to be here and I'm thankful to see everybody's faces. I want to thank WAMS for welcoming us into this space. It's such a fun space. If nobody's ever been in here before, they do a great job with events and stuff, and they're just a great host. So thank you to WAMS. I'm so excited about the annual meeting. It's one of my favorite events because it's such a fun way to celebrate all things 2023 and look forward to all things 2024. So excited for that. I'm here if anybody has any questions for me or needs anything. I'm going to keep it short and sweet and kick off the agenda to our fearless leader, Ms. Deb. Thanks again.
Thanks for coming tonight. I'm Debbie Hook. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm the executive director of our Habitat affiliate. And just a note before we get going on sort of the purpose of tonight, with a little story. So, several lifetimes ago, I joined Habitat as an AmeriCorps volunteer doing construction. In my second year of AmeriCorps, I was partnered with a remarkable first-year AmeriCorps volunteer named Greg. Greg was, he had suffered a brain injury when he was very young, and that prevented his development beyond about a 6-year-old child. Greg and I worked together for an entire year, and during that year, I learned at least as much from him as he did from me, and probably much more. One example, one day, we're painting a wall in one of the homes we reconstructed. So I roll my roller in the paint, roll it on the wall, I step back, and I look for any white spots. Greg watches every move I make and then mimics me. So Greg rolls his roller in the paint, he rolls it on the wall, and he steps back and he looks at me. And this is the way we went around the entire room. We painted the room. And as soon as it was done, being a very task-oriented person that I am, I immediately start gathering up all our materials and go to the next room, right? Because there's more work to be done. So I gather it all up and I head off to the next room, and Greg stops me, and he pulls me back into the room that we just painted. And I'm like, Greg, what is it? You know, I'm anxious to get to the next thing. And he puts his things down on the floor and walks up to the wall and says, ta-da! And for me, that was the birth of the ta-da. And it taught me to celebrate our milestones as we go, the big ones and the small ones. And that's what tonight is about. So, again, thank you for joining us for a little moment of ta-da as we celebrate the things that we've done so far, and we look forward to what it is that we hope to do next. Oh, we probably need to jump ahead by a couple of slides.
You want to talk about our mission?
Our mission is to build homes and communities of hope. We are hard at work at doing that in several communities right now. So I'd like to talk about some of those details. So as many of you know, our affiliate launched a very aggressive strategic plan this year that has 3 main pillars. So our first goal is to construct 30 homes and conduct 36 home repairs in the next 3 years. Our second goal is to prepare and support our families to be successful through those programs. And if you do the quick math, that means adding 22 families per year on average, in addition to the existing families that we have in support. And our third goal is to rearrange our finances in the way that we manage our construction and in the way we do all of our fundraising. So in short, we decided to change everything. This so far, here's our progress on the construction. So the first column is the builds that we have in process. So we have 1 complete, 3 that have hammers swinging at them currently, not currently, but you know what I mean. Groundbreaking that we are just about to get on schedule coming up in April, and 3 more properties under agreement. So 9 under our control at this point. My goal is to get all 30 of our properties under site control by the end of next year, and as early in that process as I can, so that we can really map out where we're going. On the home closing side, because we not only want to build 10 homes a year, we want to put 10 families into those homes a year. And as the folks in this room know, that process has undergone major changes in the last several years. So we're diligently working to speed that entire process up. We have just completed the closing of our Concord Street home. We've done the dedication, the mortgage is closed, it's on record, no better to than that. And thank you for everyone who's able to make it out to that dedication, because we really enjoy having those celebrations. And on that note, stay tuned, because we have 5 more families who are all in various stages of their home closings, which means we have 5 dedications coming up. So watch your emails, because we have additional opportunities to celebrate. So 5 more that are in some stage of closing. And then we have we have 3 that are ready to go for new applications. And the other 3 that will go into this application process are 2 Sundown properties and Holly Street. So we will be opening selection for 6 more families in 1 batch. And then we'll have all 6 of those families working through their sweat equity in tandem with their houses closing. So we'll have a staggered approach where some of the homes, as soon as they're ready, as soon as that sweat equity is done, we'll be able to kick off the mortgage process, because the property, the construction is ahead of it. And we'll have some, for instance, Holly Street, where right now it's still a vacant lot. So we'll have families in process doing their sweat equity before the home is complete. But so that's where we are to date on our home repairs. So of the 36, we're trying to do 12 a year on average. We have 7 so far in this fiscal year that are complete. We have 3 more that are approved and ready to go as soon as the ground thaws. And Norma is actively working with applicants to fill up our summer and fall home repair slots as well. So just keep moving all of that on. So, folks have something for dedication. Before I hand off to Paul, I do want to mention that tonight really is our ta-da moment for our volunteers. We are so grateful for everything you do every single day. We know that you're out there working so hard, and our goal tonight is twofold. On the one hand, we're here to celebrate you and to thank you. And on the other hand, we're here to inform you and give you a picture behind the scenes of what the rest of the staff is doing, and all the hard work that's going on the back end, so that you can keep doing what you do best. Next up, we will have Paul to talk about some detailed construction. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out. I think the last time we got together in person was a snowy winter night in Northborough. That was
2019? 2020. January 2020 was the last
Yeah,
one.
to give you an idea how long it's been. So it's great to be here in person and seeing everyone in the room again. And I also want to reiterate what Debbie just said. Thank you so much to everybody who comes out and helps us build all of these projects. It's incredible how much got accomplished last year. And it's all because of you folks. You put so much into it, you all made it possible. So thank you so much. Just to reflect a little bit on kind of what got done. We finished up 226 Cedar Street in Sturbridge last year. The house was both basically in the finishing stage at the start of the calendar year, and went back and even got the lawn installed. So it's kind of a hot day, shoveling 40 yards of topsoil, but we did it. So the house is complete, and it's great to hear that we have a family lined up and moving forward towards closing. I went on to complete a remodel of 490 Dutton Road, Sudbury. This is a house that Habitat had built many years ago. Actually, my first project with the Worcester affiliate was the Sudbury house. So it was a little bit of a sad situation to go back and have to remodel it after a pipe burst during the winter time and the house was flooding. But nevertheless, we went through it all, and the house looks beautiful now. So again, is that one closed? Or it's still closed?
No, it closed.
They closed?
It closed
All right.
on Friday.
All right. So it was great to finish that one up, but while I was doing that, Ted was hard at work at Harrison Street. And Harrison Street is probably the longest project I've been involved in with Habitat. Who would have guessed that there would be a pandemic that basically would slow us down to 4 people a day for multiple years? But we did it. It was a lot of hard work. We now have 3 completed units over there, and the place looks lovely. After Harrison Street, Ted went on to 38 Etna Street, kind of a refresh project for us. The house had been built by Habitat just a few years earlier, so a little bit worn, a little bit needing kind of a refresh, and that also completed. After all of those projects, we went on and started something new, Sunderland Road. So Sunderland Road has been sort of a resurgence for me in what Habitat used to be. The number of groups, women's build and corporate groups coming out to support that project is just phenomenal. For many years, it was very slow, and all of a sudden, there are a lot of people helping us out. So it's great to be able to get back to that. But as a result, my plan for Sunderland Road was cap the foundations, build one, and then we'll go back and build the other one sometime this year. But lo and behold, because of all the support we've had, both houses are now fully framed and have windows, doors, and siding are going on right now. So the schedule there is accelerated much faster than I ever anticipated. So hopefully we'll continue through this year and making very good progress over there. Throughout all of the home builds, there are also several repair projects. And some of the regular volunteers may not be familiar with all of the repair projects that have been done. But in collaboration with the town of Holliston, we did 5 critical repair projects last year. And these were kind of varying projects from some roof replacements, heating system replacement, exterior doors, landings, just a wide assortment of different things. And in addition to the towns to the projects in Holliston, we also did 2 more projects. One out in Spencer doing a landing, and one out in Leicester doing a roof project. So as I said, these have been subcontracted, so that the affiliate's been able to accomplish a lot more than just what we would have done sort of through normal process. And that's a very good thing. As we continue on, partnership with Owens Corning. Owens Corning has been a great supporter for all of the roofing projects that we've done. They donate all of the materials, and they line up a contractor to do the roof replacement. So that's how we've been able to do several of these now. I think we've had 4 or so projects from Owens Corning that have been donated, which is great. And we're currently working on another renovation project, 174 Boundary Street. Boundary Street is a Habitat-built project from 20 plus years ago, but it was in need of a refresh. It's a very nice story in that the owner had passed away, and the surviving daughter didn't need the property anymore, and she wanted to go back to a family that could make use of it. So it was such a beneficial thing to receive the house when she was younger. She wants to make sure that the next family can achieve the same thing. And that's what we're doing at Boundary Street. It's being subcontracted out again, so a way for the affiliate to make more progress without always using volunteers on every single one of them. To talk a little bit about kind of futures, there are 3 properties, I think Debbie, if you looked at Debbie's list, there are 3 properties in Worcester that we're in the process of acquiring. Exactly how we build those is still to be determined. You may have heard last time or at the last quarterly meeting that we're looking at panelized building or panelized construction for some new projects. It's a way to achieve greater throughput and more production, since we recognize we're sort of at the limit of what we're able to do kind of just through volunteers all the time. So it's a way to expand the operation and achieve more. After all, that's what we're here for, is to achieve more affordable housing for the community. So we're looking at some ways to, some possible sites where we could do panelized construction, and then what the mix will be between having somebody come in and stand up those walls and what we go back and do to finish them off is still to be determined, so stay tuned. Those are 3 that are sort of set that we're acquiring, but you should also know that there's several other properties that we're looking at in towns of Ashland, Wayland, maybe, I'm sorry? Upton.
There's a list.
There's a list. Sudbury, you didn't mention Sudbury, I also said. Boylston, there we go. Yeah, so it'd be great that, the possibility of getting back and doing another project in Metro West is very good. It's been quite a few years since we've been there. Ted originally started as the Metro West person, and we haven't had a project there in a while. So it'd be very nice if we could sort of get back to doing that and diversify the area that we're contributing to. So with that, I'd like to say thank you all for all your hard work and helping us achieve all of these projects, and looking forward to working with you in the coming year. Sorry, next up, Kevin's on the agenda.
Yay, Kevin.
Hello,
Hi, Kev.
I am Kev, I am with the Restore, and I gotta tell you, it's super exciting to be here. The last time I had the opportunity to speak in front of you was about 6 months after I started, which was the last time we met in person.
So it's your fault.
It was my fault, yes, yes. But I gotta tell you, the last year, we just, a ta-da, like Debbie said, it was a year of ta-das. Our Worcester and Ashland resource, as you can see, rose to over 1.9 million. This represents an increase, I have glasses for this, of 21.79% over the previous year. That's enormous. And one of the things that gets me, how exciting it is that we did it with such a low staffing. We were so short-staffed almost the entire time. But still, the team of volunteers and paid staff, it's just amazing what everyone pulled off as a team. It's just dynamic. We have an incredible team of people. The combined net revenue, which we were able to remit to the affiliate, was $546,088. And let me tell you, that's huge in Restore Nation. I am cheap. You know, it just means that we try to keep things under control, knowing that there's a bigger goal. You know, we do without some things, and a little bit of sacrifice, but the end goal is possibly helping out a home being finished, or whatever it may be. But that is a big number, and we want to make it bigger, all right? I like some of the fun facts. You know, 115,260 pieces of decor sold in fiscal year '23. I will tell you the total number of items that we sold is actually more than double that. 304,377 individual items.
We have a question back here.
Yes?
Do you have a question?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the time and space where all about
You made $2 million, you returned $250,000, so it's 25%.
We returned 546.
Okay, so that's still net revenue, it's still 25%.
Yeah, net. Right.
What are the other expenses? If you get all your stuff donated, your product is.
Well, I love this. I get this a lot. Our number one expense is payroll, first of all.
Such an
Second.
innovative people.
Excuse me?
Did it with a shortage of people, you just finished saying.
Well, they still get.
That still makes, it's still the highest item. Next is, the rent. We don't get our spaces for free.
Right.
Ashland, to make a monthly goal, has to gross at least 57,000. Once they've reached 57,000, then we start to put pennies in the bank. We have electric bills, we have gas bills, we have fuel bills for the trucks, we have truck repairs, we have building repairs, we have insurance, we have, I know I'm missing a
Trash
ton.
removal.
Trash removal.
Recycling.
Recycling, yes, there's a lot of fees that go along with running a business, with running a business that relies on donations. We're one of the luckiest few where we don't rely on purchasing product and then selling it. I will tell you, we're one of the few that are as fortunate as we are. We purchase paint at $9 a gallon, we sell it for 18. And we purchase Restore soda. We don't make pretty much anything, it's just the customers love it. There are Restore operations in the country, many of them that rely on 75 to 95% purchase product. They don't have the donor base. But there are a lot of expenses that go along with it. Is there any other part of it that you?
We love questions. We love questions.
Well, your expenses are just the same as every other business has, mortgage, utilities, because that's your standard operating costs.
Okay.
I'm just surprised with your product being donated.
Yeah, but you know what?
Cost of product that it's used.
People think it's free, but again, it's, we have the overhead of,
Everybody's got overhead.
what's that?
When I say everybody's got overhead, I'm just, no, it's okay, move on.
No, you touched the point, so I want to satisfy the urge.
20 to 30% is the target across Restore Nation. Because if the stores are generating a higher percentage of that in the return to the affiliate, it means they're not reinvesting in the store. So in order for it to remain sustainable, there's a lot of reinvestment in order to keep it going.
For instance, we were spending, this year was the first year that we were able to spend $4,000 per month on advertising. We also were spending $500 a month to pay a marketing company to manage our Google ad grant. We reevaluated that. That did not seem like it was the best bang for the buck, so I canceled that contract. I have paused our television, both linear and streaming advertising at the moment because we are in the slow season. However, we did see a huge return for the money that we were spending. We also have investments on uniforms and, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot that goes into it. But we are one of the most slimmed down overhead operations that I know of. We have operations in our area that have made more money than us gross and came out of it with 32,000 net. All right, we don't overstaff, we don't understaff. Last year we had a challenge. I only mentioned the challenge as a celebration of the team because it wasn't a challenge by choice. I mean, it was not easy getting people, which then makes us pay out money for other things. But yes,
Outstanding result, outstanding.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
and I think 27% return is a great business model. There aren't many retail operations that achieve that kind of thing.
It's pretty big. We had, one of the achievements that we received last year was that for the first time our operation was invited to be part of the large Restore Symposium, which is huge. It was a big effort. Some of the things that are going on now, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. The fact that we were able to divert more than 1,202 tons from landfills, that's huge. That's really huge. We also were able to welcome 3,226 plus, I'm gonna say plus because there were some times people came in that were volunteers, but you didn't know they were coming until last minute,
Best present.
right?
Unexpected one.
Molly.
Yeah.
But again, 16,196 hours of volunteer time to the Restores. We are so grateful for that, because again, every day is different. Our best laid plan never follows through as planned. You know, we just had in, for those that don't know, an enormous, largest, I've been doing this now, once with a different organization, now with Habitat for almost 17 years, and we just received the largest one-time donation I have ever seen. And that was from a major major production studio. They were so impressed with us. We were begging for help for warehouse, but where it wasn't coming quick enough, I had to shift gears. And I did negotiate us staying in that property, in that space for a month. We are out of there. We are out of there 100%. They're so impressed with our team and the way we handled the situation that I was requested at a meeting with a Hollywood executive. So we really are in a position now making introductions and being introduced to people that could make a difference for our future. Yes?
How many trucks did we get in that donation?
It was over 200 skids of product and furniture. It was 7 53-foot trailers, and then it was probably 8 of our own. It was a much bigger amount when I first walked through. I could barely speak as I was walking through it. I was just like flabbergasted. But then there were some other studios like Warner Brothers and a few other, Paramount, Apple TV, that they ended up going through some of it and pulling it aside for future productions they're doing. Yes?
Was any of that able to go over to the construction sites?
No. Oh, yes, some of the wood did, actually.
Great.
I think, Ted, did you pick up wood they're gonna use it for the playhouses?
It's great, man.
Huh?
I didn't pick it up personally, but it's all in the same place.
Yes.
Once we,
So there was a lot of wood. The production company actually took every nail out of every board and offered us a lot. I had said no to a few things because I didn't think we had the room for it, but we did end up getting some stuff and they were very pleased that it was going to playhouses and to that type of thing. Yes?
All of the finish at the Sunderland Road basements came from the Restore, 85 panels of OSB, and that's how we finished the basement.
Oh, from the movie.
Not from the movie set, from.
From the other one?
Yeah.
See, that's awesome. We do send whatever we can to the build site. I sometimes think that everything can go to the build site, and then I go back and there's all this stuff still in the Restore, and I'm like, why isn't it gone? But again, they can't store everything. They can't store everything. We also have another incredible, I had to look at what the future of Restore is. National trends for retail operations are actually trending in the wrong direction. This has been a discussion that we've had amongst many committee meetings with Habitat International and different groups that I belong to. So we are shifting some of our product to e-commerce. To do it thoughtfully and to do it methodically, we do have WPI right now. They're finishing up on a project of e-commerce and social media. E-commerce meaning what platforms are the best to start and what organically is the next best step. How to do it, where to publicize it, how to market it. Social media is also part of their proposal as far as how can we enhance the e-commerce with the social media. So our last meeting is actually next week, and they'll then be finishing up with their proposal. We also had I'll be done in a second. We also had another IQT last year from WPI as well, and what they did, and I had Habitat International headquarters was actually involved with this, and that was solving the mystery of the weight diversion, meaning calculating what we divert from the landfill into dollars. So into tons, see? So it's taking even the dollar amount, so the 1.9 million, the old thing was this, that, so they came up with a new method. HFHI, Habitat International, was super thrilled with their methodology. They couldn't believe it. We've had numerous colleges trying this around the country, and Worcester was the one that has made it happen. and international now. It's been moved up to all the other departments that are now fine tuning it, and it will be rolled out on the myhabitat.com site for the entire country to use. So that's huge. It's about all I got a lot more. I can keep talking. Any other questions about Restore? Anything? Anyone?
Come
No?
shop at the store, we're open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5 and 6 morning.
That's right. Says Mary, our new Worcester Assistant Restore Manager, and Gary, our Worcester Restore Manager is here, and Casey, our Ashland Restore Manager, is also in the house. And thanks to them, team, and all that.
Oh, no, Sarah.
So my name is Sarah, I'm with the development team, and I'm here to talk about, first, my favorite thing, which is the next slide.
Yay!
Women Build. And Women Build brings women from the community together to help low-income women build strength, stability, affordable home ownership. Teams fundraise, and then they build for a day. And this fall, we had 5 teams, and we're so grateful. One of the team leaders had a connection with American Dream TV. You can check out, we had some coverage. Molly, Norma, thank you for speaking, having great interviews explaining Women Build. And then there was some great footage of the team in action on site. And thank you especially to the regulars and to Paul and Ted for making Women Build possible. And we're so excited, it's not too early to reserve your Women Build Day for this spring. We have dates available for April, May, and June. First come, first serve. Information on our website, or feel free to grab me after. And then one of our newer, smaller events that we had for the 3rd time running is our virtual walk for homes. It's virtual so that individual people can walk on their own time for a set amount of miles over a set amount of days, raising funds and awareness about the need for affordable housing in our community. And you can get a sense of the motivation from some of our participants on the slide there. We're so grateful to our sponsors and all the people that did fundraising during that event. And then we also had our flagship event this October, High Heels and Hard Hats, which was really fun for the first time. It was close to Halloween. We had costume optional, and there was some fun participation in that. And also, we were honored to recognize Ed Augustus, the Secretary, Massachusetts Secretary for Housing and Livable Communities, and also recognize Greta Badrami, who has very generously, through her company, donated many roofs to many builds for us. She has a great story. It's on our website. Feel free to check it out. And then, of course, we're grateful to Bank of America, which was our platinum sponsor, and all of our sponsors, our table sponsors, participants, and supporters that took part in the event. And between that event and our online marketplace that happens in November, we beat our budget. So we're really excited about that because it's a good sign. And thus concludes, I'm so happy to introduce Joseph. He's the Director of Development. He's going to talk about our beloved Operation Playhouse program, which is very busy.
So thank you so very much. I'm really happy to talk to you about our Operation Playhouse program. It's an exciting and wonderful program where people, we serve veterans and current military families with playhouses. And the event we usually start with our team of volunteers and sponsor teams at like 8 in the morning, and they come out and they set everything up and they paint and they put on shingles on the playhouse and they decorate the playhouse and put it all together. And with the guidance of Jerry Finn, our wonderful Operation Playhouse, by the time the afternoon comes, about 2:30, 3 o'clock, the family comes in and they get their playhouse. And the team gets to meet the veterans and their children. The children get to play a little bit. and then they get to take the Playhouse home that very same day, all in one day. We have days where we do one Playhouse, we have days where we do two Playhouses, and then we have days like our Build-a-thon, which is coming up in Worcester on June 27th, where we expect to build 12 Playhouses, all in one day for 12 different families. We're going to have one in the Metro West area, looks like June 11th, and it looks like it's going to be at the AMVETS location in Natick, which is a beautiful location. I'm telling you right now, it's right off Lake Constituent, and people are going to love building playhouses there. So let's see, we started in 2014 building playhouses, and since then we've built 433 playhouses. If, just a little silly fact I did earlier today, if you were to turn those playhouses upside down, on the side, and put them on top of each other, right? That would be the equivalent of 3 Prudential towers, right? So that's a lot of playhouses. Actually, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. So we really are grateful and appreciative of all the volunteers, all the sponsors that come out to build the playhouses with us. It's so much fun, as Jerry can attest. And part of the program that makes it possible is we have our Operation Playhouse Captains. And our Operation Playhouse Captains are volunteers that get trained. They go through a training. Jerry leads the training. It's a 4-hour training on a Saturday if you ever want to come to one and become a Playhouse Captain. And with those, after that training, then they come and they help us guide the sponsored teams of 8 to 10 people from the sponsored companies to build the playhouses. As you can see, we have a list of some wonderful people here: Stephen Bourgeois, Julie Validge, Jen DeGray, Jackie Gauthier, Kevin Hartwell, Paul Hegel, Joe Meckelbeck, Richard Morrison, Mike Murphy, Jennifer Rambridge, William Rambridge, David Wheat, Joe Whitney, and Steve Zoggy. And all of those individuals come out and they help us build these playhouses and help guide these teams. They also do something extra, which they find out when they come to the training, is we also need to build the kits for the playhouses. So they will often come out and help us cut the wood and beforehand into the shapes that need to be assembled and put together on the days. And they help us pre-paint the playhouses. So the priming. So they are an integral part of making this Playhouse program work. And I think that's basically all I wanted to say. So I've forgotten who's next.
Norma!
Norma.
Hello, everyone. I'm Norma. I am actually fairly new to the affiliate, about 7 months this month, so it's a pleasure working for Metro West Greater Worcester's affiliate. I am the Family Services Administrator, and it has been a pleasure so far. I think the 56 homeowners. So what I do is a whole bunch of things. Working directly with our families. So if I go to little portions, one of my favorites so far has been the homeowner support, working with, 56 homeowners. Maybe not all 56 homeowners, probably a bunch out of the 56, supporting them with any life events that may come about, assisting them to any mortgage assistance that may be needed, any referrals to any other support that will be needed in that home, and encouraging words to the homeowners, understanding that life is life and anything is possible, as we should all be aware. we don't have control of our life courses at times, and some tragedies can happen. So being able to be an advocate and support them, you know, like I said, whether it's a referral or an encouraging word, that's been my favorite part. So not only supporting our current homeowners, I also have been working directly with our 5 partner families who will soon be entering their homes this year. We do have a home dedication coming up soon for 226 Cedar Street. And then we do plan to do our Harrison Street that actually, from what I heard from Paul, took a pause back in 2019, 2020. So here we are, 2024, we now have all 3 home partner families chosen. And they have been a delight to work with throughout sweat equity, you know, building their homes or building a future homeowner's home, working with their education part, which Bank of America, John T. has been such a great sports, working with our families. I've had great outcomes of our partner families, learning budgeting, guarding, you know, these little courses that may not seem so important when owning a home, but it's really, really important. So thank you, Bank of America, John T. What else? Oh, home repairs. Home repairs have been also a delight of, you know, accepting the applications and, you know, ensuring that these inquiries are eligible for our program and keeping them safe in their homes and, you know, ensuring that they're able to walk in and out using their front, you know, steps, or just, you know, being able to get a modification in their bathroom. So keeping, you know, home repair programs. It's a good program, sorry. Oh, family selection has been such a great, it's been new, right? Family selection went from, you know, selecting families that have applied for a home, but then having to, you know, diligently, you know, look at the application, their needs, and the ability to pay. So that portion has actually shifted over a little to, yes, we still will be accepting applications and reviewing them for eligibility. However, it's a little slightly different, will be different within these, you know, upcoming homeowners.
With third-party mortgages.
With third-party mortgages, yes. So, yes. Yay!
Hold on, I'm coming. Let me just move the slide. Okay. Next question. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Molly Pietrantonio, and I'm your outgoing volunteer and organizational programs manager. I'm so excited that this is my final Habitat Hurrah, because it is fun to celebrate, and I hope you like the food because I picked it out. I'm a child, that mac and cheese is so good. So excited to celebrate our volunteers this year. I really feel like 2023, 2020, and as we go into 2024, like knock on wood, felt really normal. Back to having 4 groups a week at our construction sites. I was like, oh my God, like, this is wild. And welcoming a whole host of new volunteers. One of the blessings and the curses of the pandemic is that we did transition to virtual volunteer orientations. Orientations are the baseline to our volunteer program. So moving forward, our volunteers will have to deal with somebody for at least 35 minutes to hear all about how magical we are. But I conducted, did I put it on here? 58 first-time volunteer orientations this year, which is incredible. My last one's tomorrow, and I have 9 people signed up. Great. And as I reflect back on my tenure, I guess, with Habitat, I recall starting with this organization and a lot of what I heard, and what I still hear grumbles of is, we need more volunteers, we need more volunteers, we need more volunteers, we need more volunteers. And it was so magical. We got together with our construction crew. Was that December, early December, when we?
Times a blur.
Times a blur. And at that point, the conversation had turned to, there's not enough room for all the volunteers that we want to have out on site. And I was like, oh wow, problems of abundance, Debbie and I's favorite term. And it really was, that was really a turn the corner moment for me, an exciting new problem to tackle, was having too many volunteers. So I'm so excited to highlight some of the partnerships that we grew this year. Again, as we kind of get back to normalcy, I do want to highlight Restore and our partnerships with organizations that support those with developmental disabilities. We love our volunteers. We love our volunteers. We started a new partnership with Devereaux this year. They're coming in weekly, which is awesome. And so we always are looking to encourage those new partnerships, because the beauty of volunteerism, wherever we're volunteering, is that yes, there's this idea that the volunteers are helping us move our mission forward, but what is volunteering doing for that individual themselves that's showing up every day and providing those helping hands? It's really a twofold experience, and especially at Restore with some of our youth volunteers, this is their first experience with real world. And the fact that their first real world is Restore is pretty lucky. And we kind of asterisk, like, hey, you would have been fired by now. But the beauty of Restore is our forgiving nature, and this idea that we're here. We love our youth volunteers. And acknowledging that Restore is a place for anyone to learn and grow and develop new skills, just like our construction sites. We always preach, you don't need to know one end of the hammer from the other. You don't need to know a thing about retail. As long as you want to learn new things, you want to see weird stuff, Habitat's the place for you. So to know that we engaged 5,000 volunteers this year is incredible in this post-pandemic world. And I know this organization, in another 10 years, that's going to say 12,000 volunteers engaged, because we're going to build 100 homes every 3 years. No, that's on recording. That's on video. Yeah, on our way out. So I know for a fact that the volunteer programs at Habitat for Humanity Metro West Greater Worcester are going to stay strong, because our volunteers are so strong and our volunteers are so dedicated to this mission. From their own connections and socializations to the motivations from our staff and team, and of course our board members who are volunteers. I'm sure sometimes I forget. You are volunteering your time as well, and that is so passionate that level comes from all sides of our organization. So our chat about how wonderful our volunteers is only just beginning, but I believe next up is exactly that. So let me just moonlight back into slideshow. I'm back.
All right, we are on to awards. First up, which might be its own.
Yay!
Excellent. So I have the honor of presenting our Community Partner of the Year award. And we identify a community partner every year that has made a dramatic difference within our organization, usually over time. What we know, what we've experienced time and time again, is although we are honoring an organization, there is always a person who is behind that, who is the driver within that organization. So not only has Bank of America supported our builds financially, supported our events like our gala, they also provide financial courses for our partner families as they're working through their sweat equity to help them learn about budgeting and financial controls and help them to be better prepared and better homeowners when they get there. But John Tanasia has personally coordinated and led teams out to our build sites and has invited our team out to other webinars and events so that we get broader exposure to other organizations who can also begin to support us. So we are so grateful for everything that you do for us. And John would like to present you to the town board.
We should have told you you need to go over there. By the way. Yay, John! Speech. No, you don't have to.
Great organization. I love having that. I gotta tell you, across the nation, we support beyond just locally in Worcester, obviously, but across the entire country. Our support has been dedicated to not only locally, but nationally. So thank you guys.
So welcome Paul up.
All right.
So it's my honor to recognize Dan Rosen as Professional Volunteer of the Year. I first met Dan on a whaling project. I think Lee and I were in the back framing one of the porches on 97 Stonebridge Road. Dan came over and he wanted to join in, but he wasn't quite sure how he could help and what he could do. But you know, he kept coming back, and project after project, I've worked with Dan on almost every house we built since then. And to give you a feel for how much he's come along, over the last year, we had some issues over at Sunderland Road where National Grid wouldn't connect to our temporary power pole. And when Dan heard about this, he wasn't having that. They wanted a full utility pole installed, so Dan went out, he found a company who does installation of utility poles. I had no idea there was such a thing here. Dan found one, and he got them to donate the utility pole. So that cleared the path. That cleared the path to get a temporary electric service off the grid, and that's how we're running Sunderland Road today. But another example that comes to mind is Harrison Street. You know, Harrison Street was such a long project, and we had a number of issues at the end that had to get resolved before we could get the certificate of occupancy. And I talked to Dan about a few of them, and you know, there's this problem with the heating system, it doesn't work correctly. There's this problem with the alarms, they don't sound correctly. We didn't have water mains. Well, you know what? Dan rose to the occasion. He helped resolve every single one of those. So, Dan, you've done so much for the organization over the years, and I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you've done. So please come up and accept the award.
Wait, good
What I was going to
picture.
say is, I want to thank, this company is the company that installed and donated the pole that we needed. It wouldn't be freezing this winter.
Yeah.
For all of you that don't know, my name is Casey. Good evening. I'm the Restore Action Manager, and I am here to talk about Beth. Beth is an amazing person. I have only recently moved over to the Action Store, and she honestly has been a saving grace for me. Coming in, I have all kinds of questions, all kinds of answers. As I say, she's providing me with those answers, and I can't say enough about her. She has got the most warming personality that just is inviting. It's almost kind of gravitating to her. You kind of want to ask her for help. She's got like this beautiful smile, and she's got like this twinkle in her eye when she finds something like a great treasure and she's coming at you. You're almost kind of like, ooh, you know something exciting is about to happen. You're kind of like, wait, let's go over here together. But Beth has become a great leader, I think, in our area. I think a lot of the other volunteers kind of also look to her, ask her questions. She's been there for a very long time.
Day one.
I was gonna say,
That's day one.
she knows everything, even past employees, even that I ask, she knows so much. And she's a great resource. But I just can't say enough about her. She's been amazing. And as Molly said, we've had, over 5,000 volunteers last year?
Yeah.
For a few to stand out, to say, when they say, who would you choose as volunteer of the year? Somebody else in the building also came to mind. They're amazing. To have certain regulars that you know you can count on is so important. And as Kevin was saying, we really struggled with staffing last year. The volunteers were our saving grace. There was just so much to do and so much to get through, and managers were struggling in so many different areas. And to have these volunteers that we can count on is I just can't say enough. So I do, Beth unfortunately couldn't make it here tonight, but I do just want to say thank you. And she does have two here.
Yay, Beth!
Sends her that and says thank you so much.
I told her her ears would be turning red over the nose or whatever which one it is, because we've been talking about her.
I'm turning red for her.
Oh, good.
Save the best for last. Oh, boy. I'm a little tired. All right. Again, thank you for being here. First time I got a chance to do this. As Kevin was saying, and other people have said, in order to do what we do, and it's an amazing thing what we do, this is my 13th year here. I've gone through a lot of people working-wise, a lot of volunteers working-wise, all of them, for the most part, absolutely amazing. Without the volunteers, we could not do half of what we do, and I mean that. They are absolutely special, all right? The guy I want to introduce tonight, he has been with us for a few years now. He comes in at least once a week, maybe more. He'll come in whenever I need him, for the most part. He's a hell of a worker, a great personality. He fixes things, he helps the customers, he repairs things. He does just about anything I ask him to do, which is absolutely phenomenal. And, you know, when it comes to volunteers, I mean, Casey used to be a volunteer, all right? And look where she is now. So we have some very talented people that work for us. And so on that note, I want to bring up Jack Dow.
Yay!
One word. That's good.
It's very humbling to receive this, because I'm well aware of the quality of volunteers that are associated with this organization. And to just be in the same presence of all our real pleasure.
It's a pleasure working with you.
And to all of our regular volunteers on our construction sites, at our affiliate, at the Restore, this list represents the ones that show up week after week, month after month, and spend time with us. And I look forward to this list continuing to grow. And I'm so excited to see all these fabulous names up there. So, thank you. Woo-hoo.
All right, last but not least, it's a bittersweet night because it is Molly's last major event. So Molly has been with our affiliate since 2012. She has held a number of different roles, and no matter which role she's in, she always wears multiple hats. We are so thrilled for Molly for her new adventure, and we are equally devastated for ourselves. Enthusiasm. It's just been such a wonderful experience working with her. my gifts for you.
Is that the new organization was also founded in 1976, so at least I know that fact. Off the bat, is it something I should open?
Well, so there's one piece of it that I just want to
Okay.
make a note of. So
Okay.
one of the gifts that we have for you is the Habitat notebook.
Oh gosh.
And the first couple pages are the notes from some of the folks here. So that if you bring this to your new job and you use it, when you begin your day, the first thing you'll see is a bunch of notes from people who love it and miss you. So anybody who hasn't yet had an opportunity to add a note, will circulate. I know a lot of the folks in this room have been able to do that, but we'd like to circulate it around in case anybody missed their opportunity.
Say nice things.
And the other piece we can open.
Oh,
later.
wow. Okay, well, I'm just going to cry myself to sleep tonight.
I have a massive celebration cake, so please eat sugar.
Cake.
So Molly,
Oh, yeah.
so when we found out you were leaving, you know, I asked some of the regs, geez, you gotta do something for Molly, because, you know, she's so special, and I told you how I feel and everything. And you recognize my note there, I wrote in crayon.
Thank you. Showing the 2x4.
So during one of our coffee breaks, we talked about the many things we could give you, you know, a pink hammer or 2 lovely flowers. And our friend, who I won't mention him by name, his name's Jason, okay? He's created very special things. And, you know, it was great that Kevin, you know, when Kevin came up and all the V-Store figures and they're all growing and growing. This is a collector's item because there's only 3 of them in the entire world that he has made, okay? One was for Steve Willis, one was for Amelia, and the other one is for you.
Am I opening it?
This is our one.
Okay. This is a one of 3, and that is good company to share something with. Thank you. My construction volunteer, all my volunteers have both made me cry for true sadness. Really made me cry. And I've cried about it to Debbie, to Paul, to Ted. But now I also made me laugh, so. I'm never taking this off. It's fashion. It's fashion. Oh my gosh. Okay. Do I talk more? I have. So I started with Habitat in 2012 as an AmeriCorps Vista, which was an incredible experience. Out of college, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and I found Habitat. And luckily enough, thanks to Debbie, you guys liked me enough and kept me on board. And I've been growing and exploring ever since, and the opportunities I've had. Believe it or not, I used to not like public speaking. Look at me now. Give me a microphone, or better yet, a karaoke machine, and I'm gone. But I really have Habitat to thank for that, because the confidence of this mission, it's so easy for me to talk about. And I used to say I have the luckiest and best job in the world, because I just get to meet people and talk about Habitat for Humanity and how incredible we are. And it's so incredible to see friends like Casey and Joe, who started as volunteers, listening to me talk about Habitat, grow in these positions. And I just know for a fact that whoever fills my size 8 shoes, okay, I don't have big shoes to fill, they're pretty average, that they're gonna be comfortable, because I know you all are gonna take care of them and love them and support them as you have me, as we learn and grow. And we have a lot of growing to do, and I know that we're going to nail it, literally and figuratively. So thank you, Jason, for my one-of-a-kind fashion. I've never taken this off. Any final remarks? So now we eat more food. We corner Kev and ask questions about Restore and the numbers. He's open for it. And we're here for a good time, not a long time. So please continue enjoying. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Woo!